Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy. My guest today is a WWE superstar whose incredible story was brought to life in the terrific film Fighting with My Family. Today, this is her house, Paige.
Yes.
It's so good to meet you.
Oh, lovely to meet you too. We're here to talk about my about my movie. I love it.
We're going to talk about lots of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But we have to plug the movie first, obviously, you know.
We can, yeah. Well, that's actually what I was going to ask you about first, coincidentally.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in their 20s get a movie made about their life.
I know.
But before there was a movie, there was actually a documentary.
Yes.
So for the people who don't know the story about your family, tell us what the story is.
So obviously a family of wrestlers from the independents in England, and we were just this small, like humble beginnings kind of family. And we're very honest and open people, as you can probably see in the movie if you watch it. But yeah, so we have a documentary that got made about us. And at first they weren't even going to do it about me and my brother Zach. They were just going to film my mum and dad. But then they were like, oh wait, you have a tryout for WWE. Can we follow that? And I was like, absolutely. So luckily, Dwayne stumbled across it though. When he was like...
Dwayne meaning The Rock.
The Rock, or DJ.
Is he just
my
Dwayne
friend.
to you?
Oh, he's DJ to me.
DJ.
He's my friend. But yeah, he was filming Fast and Furious in England and he stumbled across it. So I always say, thank God for insomnia, because late at night, and then he fell in love with it.
Huh.
Yeah.
So some people, they'll say that you were born to wrestle, but you like kind of actually were. Is it true that your mom was pregnant with you and still wrestling?
She sure was. Oh, she didn't realize she was pregnant though. I just want to put that out there, just in case. Yeah, no, she was. She was 7 months pregnant, and she pretty much just had my brother Zach. There's 14 months between us, so she didn't think she was going to be pregnant. And she said that she got gorilla press, which is where like you hold someone's body above your head, and then she got thrown over the top rope onto the outside. Onto Robbie Brookside, who's now one of the NXT trainers. And then she had to go to the doctor. She was like, I have a really bad stomachache after this. And they were like, no, sis, you're pregnant. Yeah, and she was like, what? So I've been wrestling since the womb.
You really
since I was a fetus. Yeah, so yeah, I was born to do this.
Did you like wrestling right away?
I did like it. I didn't want to participate in it because it scared me with my whole family, you know, and the stuff that comes with it, and I was young. And then my dad was shorting a girl one day and he was like, all right, sweetheart, get in that ring, I need you. And I was like, what? And he was like, don't worry, you can wrestle Zach and he'll dress as the Pink Power Ranger.
Oh my gosh.
And it'll be really easy for you. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. And then I did it, fell in love with it, and here I am.
And it was just good.
Love at first sight, yeah.
So Florence played you in the movie. What was it like watching someone play you on the screen?
Well, she makes me look aesthetically more pleasing. She's like, she's beautiful.
You're beautiful.
But she's just like a wonderful person. Like, she just does such an incredible job. And it was really funny because we went to Sundance obviously together, and she was sitting right next to me while we're watching it, and she's just like sinking lower and lower into a chair, you know, and she was just looking at me like, is this good for you? And I'm like, she just did an amazing job, and I wouldn't want anyone else to do it.
And Lena Headey plays your mom.
Yeah.
How'd she do?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm a big fan of hers.
So
I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna play my mom, and my mom didn't realize at first who it was because she doesn't watch TV ever. And so I had to tell her, like, she's
Cersei.
Yeah, she's in Game of Thrones, but I like recognize.
Yeah.
And she was just like, oh my gosh, that's great. And then those two are very similar too in real life.
Really?
Yeah, they're both just like hippie people that just like, you know, don't care, like they just don't give a damn.
Oh,
like,
so Lena is not like Cersei.
No, she's more like my mom.
Okay.
And like the character in Fighting with My Family, like they're very similar. It's crazy. I would tell you stories, but I can't. They kill me.
Please
no,
do.
I can't.
Oh, just give me one.
No, well, they're both. No, I can't tell you that one. But when they met each other, it was wonderful. They were both exactly the same, and the first thing they did was flip off the camera together at the exact same time without even telling each other. They just turned around with like, wow, flipped off the camera, and they were just great. She's like my mom. It feels like she's my mom.
So they cast the whole thing really, really well.
Oh my God, to a T. And actually, the way that my parents were was like watered down compared to how they are in real life. They're insane.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Like, when you say insane, how are they insane?
So you see the way they are in the movie, and they were just like, no, that's way too exaggerated. I was like, no, you need to turn it up even more. They're even more inappropriate than that. They're even louder. They're even more like absurd. They're just that family. They have no filter whatsoever, which is where I get it from. I just watered mine down a little bit since I moved over here.
Are you a big Game of Thrones fan?
Yes, but I haven't watched this season and the season before because I've been traveling so much. So me and my boyfriend now have to sit down and like, we're going to rewatch the whole thing before we get started on the...
How do you not get it spoiled? I feel like everywhere you go, there's spoilers.
Yeah, there is spoilers everywhere. But you know what? It doesn't make me mad because I'm still going to enjoy it.
In the movie, we see how much you have to go through both mentally and physically to train for all of this.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing you've had to overcome?
Just being so different, you know, compared to the other girls. Like they're all, so you've had Barbie on here, right? Barbie Blank, and they all looked like her. She was gorgeous, like blonde hair, supermodels, you know, ones where you walk down, like yourself, you walk down the street and everyone's just like, who is that? And then you get this pale goth chick with a butt chin and piercings and like looks very like different, but it's like a different flavor of ice cream, you know? And everyone was just like, you're different. And at first no one really liked it. So it was like in the movie, like people would like scream Ozzy Osbourne and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, like it was just that kind of like just being so different and then being so young at the same time where I felt like I had to conform a little bit. So then I started like wearing a little bit more color and I started dyeing my hair lighter. I took out my piercings and stuff and it just made me feel so insecure even more, you know, trying to conform that way. But I had a change of thought and I was like, you know what, I have to be myself wholeheartedly if I'm going to continue on this journey, you know. So
you feel back to yourself now?
Oh yeah. This was like 8 years ago. Yeah. Now I'm me, like completely.
Why do you think that was so hard for people to say? Because you're beautiful. I don't understand.
It was, I don't know. It was just something they weren't used to. It's been a long time in WWE where all the women just looked like that, and that's what people were used to. So then you throw in a different flavor of ice cream, and people were just like, wait, I don't know if I like change or not, you know.
Well,
people like the flavor.
Yeah, you've got what, like 5 million followers on Instagram?
5.4.
Oh, excuse me, 5.4.
Yeah, sorry, 400K.
My bad. 5.4 million people think you're
like
beautiful.
My little weird butt.
They like you, and they want to see your movie.
Yeah.
So when you found out that this was going to be made into a movie, you found out from The Rock, or DJ, right, as you call it. It was in a very weird, what was the story? It's a weird way.
Yeah. So I was at WrestleMania 2014 and I was backstage and I got a text on my phone and it was like, hey, it's DJ. I would love to see you at some point today. And I didn't know his nickname was DJ. So I'm like, who the hell is DJ and why is he texting my phone, you know? And Dean Malenko, who was like my mentor, he turned to me, he's like, that's Dwayne Johnson, you idiot. And I'm like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, Dwayne Johnson is like texting my phone. Had a mild anxiety attack, actually a major one. I was sweating in places I didn't think I could sweat before. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Then someone came and grabbed me, took me to his office that he had. And he walked in and he was just like, hey, it's Dwayne. I'm like, yeah. Yes, you are. Hello. And he was just like, so I saw your family's documentary and I fell in love with them. They remind me of my family and I just relate to them so much that we're going to make a movie on the documentary. And I'm just like, in like the first 2 minutes, I'm like, right, got it. Yes. And then he was like, oh, and by the way, tomorrow you're going to be debuting and you're going to win the Divas Championship. And I was just like, what? And I just like burst into tears. And I'm like, you literally just changed my life in 5 minutes of meeting you, you know? And he was just like handing me tissues. I'm just like crying aggressively. And he's like, okay, but you can't tell anyone. So you're going to have to clean up and, you know, go back out there in a second and just pretend like I didn't tell you this stuff. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he gave me like a big hug and I walked out and then I bumped into another female superstar, Tamina. And she was like, are you good, sis? Because she sees I was crying. I was like, I'm just a big fan of Dwayne. Because obviously I couldn't say anything. And I just was crying my eyes out and that's the only thing that could come in my head. So I was just like, yeah, and like walked off into the shadows.